All right, my lovely jubblies. It is time for some laughs. Brasseye. This might be the craziest show I've ever reacted to. Chris Morris is a genius. This whole thing is just beyond insane. I'm loving every second of it. This episode is called Science. So we're going to have a crazy take on science in this episode. And hopefully it's pretty good. It always is. I've lost my composure in both reactions to the first two episodes. So this should be no different. So hopefully you guys enjoy the reaction. And let's see where this goes. I'm game. Hit me. Hit me, Chris Morris. Let's go.
Hello, I'm Paul Trox.
And I'm Eve Pollard.
We're looking tonight at the appalling hazards of
Irresponsible weapons research. Terrible cases have arisen in Siberia, where weapon chemicals are disrupting embryo organ precursor cells in pregnant women. Organ precursor cells are the starting points for every different part of the body, but they can be chemically switched so they can all make the same part. Our undercover crew was shown this tragic case. A woman had given birth to a 2-foot testicle. The gland was alive when we saw it and being kept warm in a pot.
Oh my God, what a sentence. What a sentence. That's how we're starting, huh?
With no mouth, the doctors knew it could not feed, and they were convinced it could feel pain. We were told it would live for just 2, perhaps 3 more days, all the time in chronic pain.
On a scale, say 1 to 100%, what percentage bad science is that?
Oh, 100%.
Tonight on Brasseye, has science gone too far? Tonight, science in the dock.
Science, you are accused of going too far, of befouling, pollutement, and the intoxication of men's minds.
Science has increased our understanding of suffering, but has it really helped? This recent experiment into quadriplegia produced results that disturb.
We collected together a group of disabled people and placed various household objects around, some with quite tempting aromas. For example, we placed a cup of Bovril in front of one of them. What we found was that they would lunge secretly for the Bovril and quaff it. I think that they're not disabled at all. I think they're just incredibly lazy people.
Oh, wow.
Or guilty. Is it right for scientists to play with time?
You got 2 mice.
The time in
for
this
a
case.
second.
When I looked over, the clock on the wall was, well, it was throwing up.
There was a wonderful blue light everywhere. Everybody noticed it. And a sensation like a yawn going backwards inside you.
In June this year, the same men isolated and blew up a fortnight.
And I turned around and whack, I was 4 miles down the road, lying on my face next to a little tree that I hadn't been meant to be next to for about 2 weeks.
But does science take responsibility?
Anything that went on in that fortnight or went on out of it, depending on how you look at it, was that fortnight's fault, not ours. It was simply a bad fortnight.
Innocent or guilty? So is it any wonder people are afraid of technology?
Technology!
No!
Bad fortnight.
Innocent or guilty? So is it any wonder people are afraid of technology?
Technology!
And when science is on sale, it may be helping. Conservative estimates said 1,500.
It doesn't even give you previous ones, man. This show is so
works
goofy.
Like this. You lose your money, you reply to one of these ads, and are persuaded to sell your body to grow extra organs cheaply for transplant clinics.
The deal that I specifically struck was to grow 150 lips on my chest.
For
£6 a lip.
They'll even do you a deal on the phone.
I'm out of wampum. I spazzed it all on a horse.
I was offered 500 quid to grow a stomach full of shoulders. It could have been worse. When city analyst Helly Melvick hit the skids, she agreed to earn just £600 for a year of agony growing balls on her back.
It's like someone sticking a sabre into you and screwing it around day and night for 6 months.
Fuck me. The organs are then harvested and sold on for huge profit. Who's behind this wretched usury? Look no further
This
than
wretched
surgeons
usury.
by royal appointment, Zeus Spoffeth and Paul Gumster at London's top whack quack shack, the Bounty Clinic.
Did he say top wank quack shack? Hold on.
Look no further than surgeons by royal appointment, Zeus Spoffeth and Paul Gumster at London's top whack quack shack, the Bounty Clinic. These breadheads don't give a flying cack about the pain they cause.
Is that Mark Heap?
So how would they respond to a foot in the door hole button stepping?
Why have you messed these people up? You preyed on losers here. Dr. Spofford, you're preying on losers.
Yes, the personal organizer revealed a chain of rich clients for organs and limbs. Donald Trump has received over 7 feet of new tongue. Even Saddam Hussein has an access. He's obsessed with having white ladies' wrists. We also discovered this man is incubating over 700 livers. Scenting blood, we set up surveillance on their office and waited till they returned.
I've just monkeyed my way up the back of the building, and I'm gonna smash my way through the window. Back here, you fucking louse!
God damn it, dude. This show's fucking crazy.
I've got a question for you. What are you going to do about the people whose lives you pulled apart? What are you going to say to them? You're on camera. There's a camera here and one here.
Oh, yeah.
What's your excuse? Was it just the money?
Was it just the money?
Was it just the money?
Come on.
You're not going to get away with this.
Oh, yeah.
It's not cool to be weird.
Oh!
You won't get away with this.
Oh, grow up.
You're just being
Grow
weird.
up. Go on.
Ah!
The creeps may have scarpered, but they forgot the golden rule. If you're gonna jerk with brasseye, don't leave your Ponzi drop-top roller skate parked outside. What's for pudding? Disturbing developments in embryo research.
Let's just have a look at this, right? Normal-looking crab, pregnant with a human fetus.
What is the point of doing that? What is the argument for it?
I don't know, it's to do with in vitro fertilization or how you can cultivate fetuses
See,
outside the womb because a crab has a certain circulatory system that can feed it.
Yeah, but the only thing is so much of the improvements in modern society have been brought about by experiments on animals. The health is so much better. That is outrageous.
Right.
Of course it is. No,
I mean, we're saying, you know, right or wrong for that.
No, wrong for that.
When we actually asked the scientist who was responsible for that, I mean, I said, you know, why are you doing that? And his reaction was pretty much kind of like, and what do you do when somebody does that?
I know.
I mean, you know, and that's the way people are.
I know.
Hello, I'm Tanya Breyer. This time, I'm afraid, with some unpleasant truths. Look at the sky. Doesn't look like it's full of problems, does it? But I've worked in weather, and I know that it is. I'm not talking about ozone here. I'm talking about clouds, because cloud damage is dramatically on the increase. Due to industrial ultraviolet carbons, true clouds are being replaced by mutant clouds, like Cirrus Sirius, Nimbus, and Altocephalus. More and more, these are turning upside down and injecting their rain upwards into space. Needless to say, a Nigerian farmer can't exactly go up there and get it back, can he? Tragically, if the water does fall downwards, it can turn into triple water, which separates it into gases as it lands, blasting trees out of the ground and killing monkeys. Perhaps the most disturbing effect is the disruption of rivers. This is footage of the river Euphrates flowing backwards. It looks like it's flowing forwards, but only because we've reversed the film. Heavy water deeply confuses river flow systems. Just last month, 2 rivers got completely lost and were found wandering uselessly about the southern oceans. Sadly, bad clouds equals bad science.
So how far has the blight of bad science spread? According to the latest scandal, even as far as science classics like the Apollo moon landing. Alabaster Codify reports from across the big pond they call the Atlantic Ocean.
It's 1969 and the world watches 3 heroes alone in space. Or was it 4? Who is the yelper on this boosted sound tape? The 0836 whimper was originally explained as atmospheric retching, but shocking new evidence suggests the sound was made by this man, Peacecap Johnson, a submental who died last week at the asylum where he lived for the last 27 years. It's claimed a box of letters found under his bed, many from Buzz Aldrin, prove that Johnson was the 4th man on 11. From these guys right now, it's no Apollo, but an ex-operative defied NASA to tell us que pasa.
Johnson, who was codenamed Sleeping Beauty, was a man of very low intelligence. He never really understood what was going on.
Yo, that's a funny-ass southern accent on it. Dude. And that's the guy from Jam that I was cracking up at in those clips that I saw. He's the Jam Doctor guy. That guy's brilliant. That guy is brilliant. I can't wait to see more of him and stuff.
Johnson's job was to act as onboard sex receptacle.
Sleeping Beauty was trained to present his posterior to a hole in the locker whenever the crew members required relief.
Since the early days, distorted sex drive in orbit has been a sticky problem.
On board Gemini, John Young raped and ate alive 2 experimental monkeys.
Experiments with the rear end of horses failed. Women were deemed too silly for space. So what kind of man would agree to be the ass in NASA?
He had to be...
Wait, stop! That's late!
Experimental monkeys.
Experiments with the rear end of horses failed. Women were deemed too silly for space. So what kind of man would agree to be the ass in NASA?
He had to be pretty much a 0-watt bulb. We stopped looking when we found him winning the stupidest boy in the Dane County Fair for a 3rd year running.
The 0836 whimper is Johnson's giant squeak for mankind at the hands of a frustrated Collins.
He took out his frustration on Johnson. And it's what psychiatrists would call a bully ramming.
By contrast, Aldrin used Johnson gently, and they forged a bond that saved Johnson's life.
Lose beauty, repeat, lose beauty.
When Houston required Johnson to be ejected into space, Aldrin refused.
11 is a parody of beauty's lost. I repeat, Houston, you can't do that.
Once down, Johnson was whisked to a shut-up-and-eat home, where his daffy moon talk seemed like any other booby babble.
I hope Buzz come back and clean my dirty with his soap fish.
The astronauts are now in hiding and will only issue statements through an animal.
They're now in hiding. Dude. This is fucking crazy.
And clean my dirty with his soap fish.
The astronauts are now in hiding and will only issue statements through an animal.
But Aldrin's letters make that testimony irrelevant. They abound with muted references to sex acts written in a plaintive tone that suggests a still-present yearning. This is Alabaster Codify for 10 and N and Brasseye on the new buzz about Buzz, the Bum Buzzard. Did he fly in a rocket or fly up a socket?
Fuck off! That was
Hello,
Chris
Tamara
Morris's
Beckman
best
here.
character.
At last with some good science. This is a light-saving brick. Inside the brick, there are millions of tiny boxes mirrored on the inside. During the day, light goes into each tiny mirror box and is trapped, where it remains bouncing around inside. When it goes dark, a good example of this is night, turning this knob removes the tops of the boxes and the light leaps out. The light-saving brick. It saves light.
What can be done to keep bad science at bay? All too often it's left to the little people. Austin Tasseltine reports.
The little people really don't come much littler than this. They're called Gaffafwisp, and they've launched this campaign against the global evil of heavy electricity.
Hello, I'm Richard Bryars. I want to tell you about Gaffafwisp and heavy electricity. Gaffafwisp is the global consortium for a first world initiative on scientific practice. Self-explanatory, really. Heavy electricity, now that's a bit trickier. It's caused by particle accelerators sending huge jolts of power into domestic power lines. These knock the electricity back into its wild state, which is much heavier due to flattened electrons. The devastating result is that huge masses of heavy electricity start randomly falling out of wires and crashing onto anything below.
No.
This gives you some idea.
No.
Basically, it's like being hit by a ton of invisible lead soup.
Yo, dude. What does Chris Morris do? He's gotta do shrooms or acid or something. That guy, I don't know where he comes up with this stuff. It's like, it's one of those comedies where like you can't understand what's going on in their head. It's a lot, to me, it's, even though it seems like completely different shows, which they are completely different shows, but like anything that like Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer would make. It's just, the dynamic is totally different, but I think the source of Muppetry is the same. I could be totally wrong, though. I don't know, but it seems like they both draw inspiration from very wild places.
The Sri Lankan village of Upaveli. Inhabitants are suffering heavy electricity attacks even as I speak. Can we stand around and eat pies while they're being flattened like flies, swatted by the tail of a mad, invisible horse? Of course not. You, me, and Gaffafwisp must contact the Sri Lankan embassy now and let them know just how shoddy this all is. If you're in any doubt, just shut your eyes and imagine a child you know being hit on the head by a ton of invisible lead soup.
What's invisible lead soup?
Non-scientific contributors were sure to check all the facts
Wobbly matter. Is that what they call it?
before ramming home the dreadful urgency.
Heavy electricity is regularly flattening cattle in Sri Lanka. Afterwards, the poor beasts look like giant fur-covered slugs thrashing about on their back.
No, dude.
And made of what scientists call wobbly matter. I won't go into it here, but basically it's caused by sodomized electrons which rush to the cow's head end. Now, just apply that to a young girl human. Well, it's an appalling thought, isn't it? Geeta is 15 years old, and now because of heavy electricity, she's only 8 inches tall. Now, just imagine that. She can't speak, but she must feel quite dreadful. 15 years old, and only, what, this tall.
Sometimes pure physical aggression was the only way.
Let me show you what's going on. Here is Upaveli, villages and animals, many small children. Think how soft they are. No exoskeleton, no horny old skin like the village elders. And here is the particle accelerator, firing out huge irresponsible jolts of power. The heavy electricity can wreak its ghastly havoc at any minute. Raining down tons of invisible lead soup, but lead soup that can bounce destructively around like a hellish Powerball. So, more accurately, it's a cross between a ton of lead soup and a Powerball, smashing animals, for example. Smashing people. That could be your mother. All because these bloody idiots aren't doing their job properly. So what's to be done? Write to the Sri Lankan embassy, expressing your acute displeasure. Ask them how they'd feel having their brain mashed by invisible lead soup. All you have to do is just take a pen and sign it. Yours sincerely, Stephen Burkoff.
Explaining the problem is one thing. Knowing what to do is quite another. Luckily, Gaffafwisp had expert advice.
Richard Branson has sent out these plugs with his beaming face on them that are being used locally, which can help to a degree. And there's a man with this very huge hammer who's banging away on the pipes, trying to relieve some of the pressure going out on the grid.
It's called percussive counter-induction, and he's already held back a massive wall of heavy electricity for about an hour, allowing some children and 6 pigs to escape. You could do that, for God's sake. The squash people of Upaveli are more important than the inconvenience of you banging a hammer for a couple of days over in Sri Lanka.
Public broadcasts always help.
We're doing this very special video about heavy electricity.
And with backing from shock jock Caesar the Geezer, failure for Gaffafwisp looked absolutely impossible.
Hello, my name is Caesar. The sad truth about heavy electricity is that people in power and...
Fuck off. Geezer the Caesar the Geezer. I got it backwards. Geezer the Caesar. Fucking hell, dude. Oh, man. This is a crazy fucking show, dude. That one was wild. Downright nuts. Poor Sri Lanka with all that heavy electricity falling everywhere. Chrismorris, that one American news character that he did, that guy was amazing. I hope we see more of that character, because that guy was brilliant. And yeah, what was it, Stephen Berkson or something? I probably got that wrong. But the guy at the end who was smiling cut, we got it. Like he looked like he enjoyed that. You know, I feel like most of the people who go on here, like, whether they know what's going on or not, I feel like they're not enjoying themselves. But it looked like he did. So props to him. So that was science. The next one is scaring me. The next one is scaring me because it's titled sex. So I don't know. I don't know if I can handle that one, because I'm probably going to see some crazy, crazy stuff in that one. I don't know, man. It's going to be a tough one. But this one was enjoyable. I'd like it. They're all peeing on the earth, and then the one woman squats down. Jesus Christ. Anyway, much love. Hope you guys enjoyed the reaction, and I will see you again soon. Peace out.